Hello, hope you're having an awesome day. I've just got back from my walk and I'm about to start my workout. Now, I got up just after 8 o'clock today after my alarm went at 7:30. And I really battled with getting to sleep last night. The main thing that was on my mind was this job that's being done in the back garden on the patio, because I haven't really got involved with it. This is my girlfriend's house. I just live here and pay my way. So she's been dealing with it. Originally, some guys came round to cut back some really tall hedges and trees and stuff we've got in the garden. And then they noticed some loose tiles or loose slabs on the patio, which my girlfriend had done shortly after we moved into here. And they basically suggested that they come round and, sort that out, lift the loose ones and stick them down and then re-grout it. And they quoted £1,200 for that. Now, I've only recently found out about, the money, and like I say, I wasn't getting involved with it at all until yesterday. So as they've started digging, the job's got bigger and bigger and bigger. And it was looking like they were going to tear the whole thing up and redo it. Maybe it does need it, but they were suggesting that the guys that done the patio before had ripped my girlfriend off, etc., etc. So where we was at yesterday, they just so happened to knock on the door and show me something that definitely wasn't right, where they'd sort of filled a hole in the corner with broken bricks. And then basically the slab that was in that corner just had a load of broken bricks cemented to the bottom of it, where they'd used broken bricks as a base underneath that slab, which is probably not right. So we're at the point now where basically all they've done is ripped up a load of slabs, many of which would have been loose, apparently. When my girlfriend came back, I was still out there talking to him, and they were saying that the job's got bigger, etc., etc. And I don't understand about patios and stuff, but I just sort of suggested that there's going to come a point where there's a limit. You know what I mean? Like where we're going to have to say that's the budget and that's it. You know what I mean? Like patch it up, and even if it's not as good as the guy that's doing it would see as ideal, then there is a limit. And it was the way that he sort of reacted to that then showed me red flags, in my opinion. First of all, he was saying, that bit that I've just showed you, we're going to do that free. We're going to do that complimentary. Now, as far as I'm concerned, if you're a proper tradesman, why would you do anything free? If something needs doing, you charge for it. So that was the first red flag. Then they started sort of talking about money, the guy and my girlfriend. And he was like, right, you're going to have to send us another £2,000. She'd already given a £1,000 deposit. The job originally was supposed to be 1,200. It was like, you're going to have to send us another £2,000 because we've got to eat. And again, at this point, all they'd done is pulled up the slabs. So then my girlfriend just asked, just to clarify, the £1,000 that I'd already given you, that's subtracted from the total, which she assumed was 3,600. And then he was like, no, that's 3,600 plus the £1,000. So now we're at 4,600. And I just said to the guy, look, why have you not made my girlfriend aware, clearly what the actual price is? Why does she think that the price is £1,000 cheaper than now what you're saying? And that's when he reacted in a way again, which, showed red flags as far as I'm concerned. He first accused me of piping up and getting aggressive when I wasn't. He then suggested that I was trying to accuse him of ripping my girlfriend off when I hadn't said anything along those lines. I was just asking, why does she think the price is £1,000 cheaper than you're saying? Then he started justifying the price based on the fact that we haven't paid for certain things when the last guy done it. And I just sort of said, look, that's irrelevant. Yeah, you need to tell us what you're doing and what you're charging for. And then he sort of started getting angry. Oh, no, you're not listening to me. What I'm trying to explain is the last guy. And I'm like, no, you're here to do a job. We're paying you to do a job. Let's focus on what you're doing. And then he started getting flustered. Then he started walking away, and he was talking to his colleague. Oh, I can't deal with this guy and all that. Again, red flag, when you fail to manipulate someone potentially, you get angry, you get flustered, you get uncomfortable and you walk away. Again, if you're a proper tradesman, you just say, this is what we're doing and this is what it costs. So then the other, like his colleague, who's a bit quieter, he suggested, all right, let's write up a contract, like. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea, because there's obviously a misunderstanding here, like miscommunication. And he was like, oh, we don't, sometimes we like to do it verbal. And I was like, look, verbal contract, as far as I'm concerned, is golden, yeah. But if my girlfriend thinks the price is £1,000 cheaper than what you're saying, then maybe a contract is a better way to go. So they wrote up a contract, typed it up on a phone. I'm guessing they emailed it to my girlfriend, and now the price is the £3,600, not plus 1,000. So it's 3,600, not 4,600. Again, if you're a proper tradesman, why are you knocking £1,000 off the price? So yeah, it stinks as far as I'm concerned. They've now had £2,000. And they're set to get another 1,600 when the job's done. And this was the other thing as well. Even after the price was, agreed to be £3,600, all of a sudden, he still wanted £2,000, so they can eat. When all they'd done is pulled up the slabs. And I just suggested, look, man, 50% up front is reasonable. You'll get the other 50% when the job's finished. And then there was a sort of argument about that. And that's when my girlfriend sent them another £1,000. So they've had over 50% up front. We're not going to be paying 80 odd percent of, up front when they've literally just pulled a load of slabs up. Especially when I see the way that he reacted. And, at that point, I'm worried that they're, trying to mug my girlfriend off and they're just going to leave the job unfinished. So that's what was keeping me awake last night. That was just running through my mind and stuff. And funnily enough, when I'm on my way back from my walk today, they're just employing 2 new guys off the street, and I can hear them talking about, cash in hand and all this. So it's another red flag. It's just a Mickey Mouse company. The 2 guys that are sort of running the show are, taking all the money and, paying some people that aren't professionals to do the job. But, hopefully they will finish the job. My girlfriend's going to send them another £1,600. But yeah, I kind of wish I'd just learned how to do it myself. But yeah, that's what's kept me awake. I think I've talked about that saga long enough. It's in the past, but the present is I need to get my workout in, so let's do it. All right, today is arms and chest. I'm going to start with chest press, but I am going super light because my arms and shoulders are still aching from hundreds of press-ups the other day and doing shoulders in the gym yesterday. And today I'm listening to Wes Watson. He's talking about what it was like for him in prison. And I've got the bench inclined. That was another thing that I heard Justin Waller advise. Apparently it hits the top of your chest more. Time for a bit of biceps. Not going super heavy. And it's not arms or chest, but exercise 3 is decline sit-ups, because I've been trying to hit abs every day. One last bit of suffering left. It's cold shower time. Poached eggs, you know the drill. Right, so today I've got loads of editing to do for the next video that's going to be released on my other channel. But I've also decided to set up some social media accounts, especially for the on-track stuff. Now that I'm obviously trying to do daily vlogs and I've stepped this channel up a gear, I think it's needed and justified to have separate on-track Instagram, Facebook page, etc. So by the time this video goes live, those accounts will have been set up and the links will be in the description. Definitely give me a follow on those other platforms. But now I'm going to crack on with editing this Summit show video. Hello, so it's been a good few hours since the last clip. I've been working on the next video on my car channel, which I'm hoping will be going up the same evening that this video goes up on the On Track channel. I've also just uploaded the video that you would have seen on this channel yesterday. Definitely go and check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, pretty soon my girlfriend's going to be going to do her night shift tonight and I'm going to make my way to the gym. But let me give you an update on this patio. So, since the last time I spoke to you, the guys that they basically just employed off the street this morning started cracking on with the work, and then the other two guys that are running the show just kept coming back every hour. One of the times I noticed that the one of the two guys that are running the show that's a bit leery, he seemed to be getting a bit leery to the guys that were doing the job, and then once they'd gone, the guys that were doing the job seemed a bit sort of unhappy. They were talking amongst themselves in their own language, but you know, they cracked on with the job. Now I know nothing about paving, but here's where we're at anyway. So they were sort of leveling the sand and stuff, pouring all the sand on, and basically this area from here along there is what they done today. The guys that were here yesterday, two different guys that were employed by the guys that are running the show, done this area. At first they were supposed to pull up the loose tiles and then just put those down and grout it, but then because the job's got bigger, I don't know whether it's because they found more loose tiles than they were expecting, but then the job went up from 1,200 to 3,600, although that was a misunderstanding because it was actually 4,600, but now it's gone back down to 3,600 like I mentioned earlier on. So the current state is that we told them not to dig any further, and the price is 3,600 to lift up the areas that you can see and put those areas back down. The area that I said they showed us that was dodgy was in this corner here. That corner there was basically whatever hole was there was filled with broken bricks. This is the slab from that corner, and you can see the broken bricks are stuck to that slab. And the bit that he said he was going to do for free was to concrete this whole bit in, including filling that hole, which he hasn't done because I watched the guys earlier just cover it with sand. So yeah, that's where we're at. But as it turns out, the Indian guys that they employed off the street earlier went for lunch apparently and then decided not to come back. Now the quieter of the two guys that are running the show, you know, he was saying earlier how he'd already paid them £400 up front in cash, and you know, that's a loss for him now. And you know, I won't have none of it. I'm not going to feel sorry for the guys, especially, you know, after the way that the other guy got all flustered and, you know, raised red flags. I don't believe they paid those guys £400 up front. I believe, to be honest, that the two guys that they employed earlier were just not happy with whatever they were getting, or maybe they weren't happy with the attitude of the other guy that's running the show and they decided to leave the job. But one thing I noticed, and I showed it to the quieter of the two guys when I was speaking to him, is that this patio clearly goes down like this, up like that, and then down like that. When I showed that to the quieter of the two blokes, he was like, yeah, that's not right. And then at that point, the Larry one sort of came in, and, you know, the other guy pointed out to him, and he was like, oh, no, that's all right. He was like, because these tiles here that were done yesterday, they're not fully done yet. They're just laid down dry just to enable them to put these ones at the right level. So they're going to get lifted back up again, and then it'll all be straight. And then he just sort of marched off. But later on, when the two of them come back, the quieter one of the two was saying to me that tomorrow they're going to be ripping all of that up and redoing it because that's not right. So, I don't know, it just seems like a Mickey Mouse company to me. You know, we started with a patio that had a few loose slabs. That was going to be fixed for 1,200. Then the price had gone up to 4,600. And at that point, you know, it's all torn apart. So, you know, it's easy for my girlfriend to just be like, yeah, you know, just do it. You know, and I think these dodgy companies, that's what they rely on. You know, when it's all torn apart, you're sort of at the mercy of them. When I sort of stepped in and just started asking questions really and saying, you know, there is like kind of a limit, it just seems like, yeah, now, you know, the Larry one of the two doesn't even want to talk to me properly. There's attitude, like, and then this whole saga with the guys that they employed today, like, to me, it don't seem like a professional lot on this job. But, we're now in the winning position where they ain't getting a single penny until it's done. And, done with no errors like what I've just pointed out. We want it flat, or sloping to one way, not all wavy like this. So if we don't get to that result, they ain't getting another penny. And then if they do, leave the job now or whatever, at least my girlfriend's only giving them £2,000 instead of £3,000. Still a lot of money, but so yeah, what do you reckon? I'm sure some of you guys out there know more about, patios than I do. £4,600 to rip up this amount of slabs and then put them back down again. Have they tried to have us over? All right, I made it to the gym. Had to take my favourite car with me today because my girlfriend is doing night shift, and because she's got a courtesy car, I'm not insured in it anyway, so I couldn't have even dropped her to work and then picked her up in the morning. But yeah, going to be continuing with arms and chest. Probably going to do half a mile, really steep, really fast incline walk on the treadmill to warm up as usual, and I'll probably just do chest press, biceps and one of the tricep exercises. Maybe I'll end up doing one or two extra exercises as well, but I always commit to 3 exercises. I don't want to get into that thought of it's not worth going unless I'm going to do 6 or 7. It's still worth going even if I do 3 exercises. It's more about consistency than volume. Right, well, I ended up doing way more than I planned to in the gym. Ended up doing 5 exercises in the end on arms and chest. I will put the exercises and the weights and reps on the screen for anyone who's interested. But yeah, I was listening to Wes Watson, and that guy is so motivational. There is actually something in particular that he said in one of the podcasts I was listening to tonight that really hit home with me. And I think I'm going to go into detail about that specific idea in tomorrow's video, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, today has been mainly about the saga of our patio in the rear garden. But it's another thing that could have knocked me off track. It's a negative thing that's happening. If I allowed my mind to think about it too much, I could focus on the fact that maybe my girlfriend's getting mugged off, focus on the fact that the Larry one out of the 2 that are running the job seems to be bullshitting, quite frankly. I could have just let that run over and over and over in my mind, and it could have stopped me doing everything that I need to do on a daily basis to keep my head in check. It could have been an excuse to not bother doing my exercises, not having my cold shower, not having my walk around the block. But I know that it's important to take things as they come and focus on the now, and that's what I've been able to do. Obviously last night with it triggering my insomnia, that means, I wasn't dealing with it then, in an ideal manner. But, insomnia is something that I do suffer with. If I get anything in my mind, it does just run over and over and over because I'm literally laying in the dark. Even though nowadays I do have a podcast on low when I'm trying to sleep. But yeah, it didn't ruin my day today. We've taken things as they've come, and we'll see what's going to happen tomorrow. At the end of the day, if they don't finish the job to a level that seems satisfactory, they're not getting a penny. It's as simple as that. And we'll just see what happens. And although it's not healthy to ponder on what's going to happen, what might happen in the future, it is important to take lessons from the present moment, from the now or from the past, and apply those to your future. It's okay to make plans. It's just not healthy to constantly think about the future and miss out on the now. So, a couple of things we've taken from this, in future, whatever work we're having done by a tradesman, we're going to go and get 3 quotes, we'll get a second and a third opinion just to, get a better picture of what we do or don't need done. And we will always get a contract written up in the beginning, and we'll make sure that whoever's doing the job is happy with us giving a maximum of 50% of the money up front until the job's finished. So there's 3 things that we can learn from this situation and apply that to our future. But I'm not going to ponder on it and think about the future, with regards of whether they're going to finish the job or not, and spoil the now. So that's how I'm approaching it. But yeah, it is really late now. I have just nuked my dinner that my girlfriend made for me. Typical Italian food, full of pasta, but there is loads of chicken in there as well. And I've got my pomegranate, kiwi fruit, frozen blueberries and raspberry smoothie, which I'll be having with my GABA supplement. And actually got to send a shout out to Mikey, who put in the comments of one of the recent videos that pomegranate juice has potassium in it, which helps relax the blood vessels and improve blood flow. Have it before workouts to get a better pump. So yeah, I'll try and remember to have a glass of that pomegranate juice before I have my workout here at home tomorrow. So massive thanks for the advice, and massive thanks to everyone who has been commenting in the comments of these videos. So that's it for this video. I will be putting out another video tomorrow, so watch out for that. But other than that, whoever you are, wherever you are in your self-improvement journey, feel free to say hi in the comments and we'll have a chat. But other than that,